Imagine a man who pushing a rock up the hill. He keep pushing it, and the rock is big, and he keeps sliding back. And the man feels frustration, feels anger, but he pushing this rock up, and he look ahead of himself, and he doesn't see the pinnacle of the hill, he doesn't see the summit because it's hidden behind the clouds. He doesn't know if he ever achieve the pinnacle, if he ever reach the summit of this hill. He doesn't know. It seems like he doesn't care. He just have a silent prayer, and he just keep pushing it and pushing it and pushing it, while some people around him tell him, it's pointless. Why would you do this? Just drop this rock. Why you create this problem? Take it easy. Make your life comfortable. Why are you doing this? Why are you breaking yourself? And the man just keep pushing it. Yesterday, I was running 10 miles in the heat, about 95 degrees. And this was really hard. And I was thinking, what the hell am I doing this for? Why am I running during this heat? Why just can wait before the temperature will be better? But then I realized something, because I like to have reasoning with myself when I do something I don't want to do, but I know I have to do this. And when I push myself to do this, I have to reason with myself because I want to understand my reasoning during this struggle, this internal struggle. And when I was running, I was thinking, yes, it's so hot. And it's like it's impossible to finish this run. It's 10 miles. It's too much. Why just can't cut till 5 miles? Still more than many people around me. Why just can't do 5 miles? Or just go home and do some workout in my apartment, for example, because it's a good thing too. But I finished my run and I was thinking about what if God wants from me to test myself? What if this heat around me, this weather, is the way to test myself, is the way to become stronger, to become better, to become more man, to keep practicing this ability to be man, to be strong. And I kept running. And I almost collapsed on a certain point because it was really exhausting. But this idea within me that the struggle was good, that the struggle was doing something to me, the struggle helps me to become better, actually pushing me forward. I felt like this man who was pushing the rock. And suddenly I realized something, that this push of this rock or yourself, that's the point of life. That's the meaning of life. We're looking for meaning somewhere outside of us, but the meaning hidden is within us. It's the way to understand the struggle of your own self against yourself, to become better, to become deeper, and to accept every single piece of suffering that comes your way. Because it doesn't matter what you want from life, it's what life wants from you. And to be able to live this way, you have to be strong enough to accept the challenges, to face those challenges, because that's what life does to you. It keeps giving you the challenges one after another, and you have to accept them, you have to face them, and you have to fight them, fight through them. And through those challenges you can only improve yourself, or you can become resentful, you can start complaining, you can hide yourself in comfort behind numerous addiction, you can numb yourself, numb your mind, get out of shape and stop fighting, and suddenly life doesn't want nothing to do with you. Because if you don't accept challenges from life, eventually life will abandon you. Eventually life just go away. Okay, go ahead, and you become filled with existence that makes no sense, that meaningless, because existence without living is just continuation without continuity. You become a ghost of a human being. You become nothing while still breathing. You become imitation of your own potential. And you would never know your own limitations, because you cannot know limitation without the ability to make a proper sacrifice. And how can you make this proper sacrifice? By pushing yourself to your limits, by accepting challenges your life bestow upon you. You have to do this because that's what makes you man. That's what makes you you. That's what makes you worth of living, more worth of appreciating this life and everything life gives you. Because once you accept those challenges, you start discovering something within yourself, something worth discovering. And with this worth of discovering, you realize that it's worth living. And suddenly you see the meaning, because it's everywhere. The meaning of life is everywhere. It's your conscious observer looking outside at the world and not terrified, because when you completely with harmony within yourself, and when you accept challenges of the life, your observer becomes so sharp that it notices beauty in every single thing. Why? Because it doesn't afraid to notice beauty, since it's strong enough to fight against ugliness, to define ugliness, to oppose ugliness, and to fight ugliness. Because you cannot appreciate truly beauty if you cannot defend it. You have to defend this appreciation. Otherwise, somebody will divert your taste, divert your eyes, force you to become blind, just for you stop noticing the magnificence of this world. Yesterday, when I was running on my way back, my last several miles, it was already dark, and I saw lightning bugs around me, so many of them, and I was so exhausted. I almost was destroyed by this run because it was really exhausting. But I was looking around myself at these lightning bugs. It was so beautiful. They were incredibly beautiful. And I was like, wow, I can appreciate this while being so exhausted. You can appreciate beauty in every single thing, even if you're exhausted, even if you're tired, even if you're depressed, you still have to trust your observer to observe the universe around you. But again, for this you have to live, you have to face the challenges life bestows upon you. You have to accept those challenges. You have to become stronger. You have to keep pushing that rock. And the whole idea of pushing it is to discover your true potential, because you cannot discover your true potential without fight with yourself. We kind of have this ability to betray ourselves. You know, in Navy SEAL, they have this bell when you cannot continue any longer with the training, with this exhaustive training. You can just ring the bell and you go home. That's how simple that is. Nobody forcing you. You just ring the bell and you're out. When I was running, when I was limping, I thought I'm gonna fall, and I was thinking if I stop, that's the same as ringing the bell. And I couldn't stop because I couldn't walk. I just have to keep running because this is my test. This is what makes me me, because you're building yourself brick by brick out of those tests. You don't test yourself lying on the couch and eating ice cream or drinking beer and watching porn or play video games. You test yourself in a situation like this when you're almost on the verge of collapse, when you think you're just going down to hell. Because when you have consequences for something, that's only then you have real test. That's what I mean. And I was running and I was like, if I stop walking, because I couldn't, but I keep running and running because I don't want to ring the bell. I don't want to give up. That's very important because there's no tomorrow. A lot of people say, I'll do this tomorrow. There's no tomorrow. Tomorrow doesn't exist because tomorrow is going to be a different day and you will be different in that day because every day you are different and every time you have to work till your potential, till your limitation. And that's how you understand yourself. That's how you become better. That's how you become man, because you practice to be someone you want to be. And you practice every moment of your life. You have to practice. And to be able to recognize beauty, you have to be strong enough to defend this beauty from ugliness. That's why we have so much ugliness in the modern world, because for some reason we become so tolerant that we decided that we have to tolerate ugliness as well. We have no right to say that we have no right to name ugliness ugliness. We used to worship beauty. We used to wanted to protect beauty. We used to ready to die for beauty. Now we seem drawn in a comfort where everything became mediocre. Everything mediocre. And seems like we forgot that beauty only accessible to the strong, to the one who's ready to sacrifice his life for this. But we become mediocre, we become equal in mediocrity. We're afraid to express ourselves, to say something that would make other people mad. Sometimes we need this. Sometimes we need beauty. We need to become one of those men who keep pushing the rock up the hill. Keep pushing it and keep pushing it. Because your body gets stronger during this push. Your mind gets more disciplined. That's the whole point, because this rock symbolizes all this heaviness of the world that you are willing to take upon your shoulder. It's not just a rock. It's this entire burden that you're ready to take. It's the responsibility for everything within this world. Everything. To protect your community, to protect your country, to protect yourself, to protect your family. That's what the rock is. You have to keep pushing it. Because that's what your responsibility. That's the cross that Jesus was carrying. Because every one of us has this cross upon our shoulders. And if you drop this cross on the ground, you become useless, you become dead, while pretending that you're still alive. You cannot fully have life if you refuse to acknowledge all those life challenges that it constantly bestows upon you. You have to accept the life challenges. You have to face them, and you have to fight, and you have to find the meaning in struggle, because that's the point. The whole meaning of life is in struggle. Life provides you with, and you have to overcome those struggles, and that's the whole idea. The meaning of life is in struggle. Otherwise, it's resentment. Everything can happen to you. Any tragedy, everything. It could be unfair, and in most cases, tragedies are unfair. And what are you going to do, for example, if you have some disease that would kill you? What are we going to do? Are you going to blame the world? You're going to blame the world. You become resentful, and you have all this right to become resentful, to blame the entire world. But the problem is you will multiply this hell. But if you accept it like a warrior, if you create a quest out of it, you can create the quest out of any tragedy that comes your way. And even if you lose, even if you die in suffering, you will die like a warrior who lost maybe to this tragedy, but who won nevertheless. That's the point of life. That's what Christianity is so great. That's what faith in God makes meaning worth chasing. Because there's no meaning in life if you don't have God on your side. Because there's no way to justify all those multiple tragedies that happen to us every single day. We don't know how to fight them. We just numb ourselves with the comfort and try to close our eyes like we're incapable of doing anything, pretending to be lions with no teeth. But to be a lion with teeth, you have to stand behind something, and you have to stand behind God. And you have to look for the meaning of life in your own personal struggle. You have to keep pushing the rock up the hill. It doesn't matter how hard it is, you have to keep pushing this damn rock.